Hi, my name is Zai, and I've been playing first-person shooters for about 20 years. Most of that has been in Quake. I've also been running this channel for over a year now, and I've reviewed over 50 mice. So what better way to celebrate the 200th video and 25,000 subscribers than by reviewing the Logitech G Pro gaming mouse. They designed this mouse after listening to a lot of community feedback, so I'm expecting it to be a top choice. So let's see how it holds up in game and in the testing. A quick reminder though, there's no such thing as a perfect mouse, and everyone is different. This will suit a lot of people, but not everyone. And also, I'm doing this review on the day that I got it, because I've been asked about it constantly since it was announced. I'll do my best to get everything right though. First, the box is nice and simple, easy to open, and I love how Logitech wrapped the cable around like this, instead of folding it. The cable is a smooth braid, but it's also very thick. Thankfully, it still fits into my mouse bungee, no hassle, and it's about 2 meters long, which I think is about 6'6". When choosing a mouse, you need to look at the 4 main points: shape, sensor, weight, and buttons. This is an ambidextrous design, but with buttons on the left. It has a top optical sensor with the 3366, only weighs about 85 grams with a bit of cable, and the left and right buttons use on-run switches, so the clicks are light and great for MOBA and FPS. Everything about this mouse sounds right, but will it suit you? A lot of that is going to depend on the shape. The slope in the buttons is gradual, and the hump is just a bit toward the back, making this suitable for fingertip and claw grip, and palm grip if your hand isn't too big. Depending how high you place your fingers, the grip width is about 5.5 centimeters, and the base length is about 10. So it's roughly just under a 2:1 ratio, which is decent, and it's a low mouse at about 3.5 centimeters high. Now, hopefully you've measured your hand size from base to tip of middle finger, and also width with your thumb against your palm. My hand is about 18 centimeters long and 9 centimeters wide, so the measurements I give next will be estimates. They're a guide, not an exact chart. Given the size, I'd say this could suit palm grip for people with hands under 17 centimeters. Claw grip maybe 15 to 19, and fingertip most likely 17 to 20. It's a safe shape with no unnecessary angles, so there's plenty of room to place your fingers. It's really up to you and how you hold the mouse. One thing I will note on the shape though, the sides are not flat. They're actually a bit rounded vertically. I prefer the sides of the G302 in terms of flatness. You can see here that they have just a bit of curve going outward toward the top, while the G100S and Pro have similar sides, but they are kind of rounded in the center. I find that the G302 design allows my thumb and fingers to sit better, more naturally. So for me, this isn't the perfect shape. If they made the sides flat like on the G302, then it would be better. The main problem with the G302 design is the diamond shape. Otherwise the sides are perfect in my opinion. Anyway, this is still a good design, and it is basically the same as the G100S. I'm just more of a fan of the G302. Moving on to the buttons, there are some subtle comfort grooves, and they're separate from the shell. They're louder than expected though, but from what people tell me, they might be good for jitter clicking. Here's a listen to each, with the 2 main buttons compared with the G302. From what I can hear, they're louder, but they also feel a bit harder to press in, with better tactile feedback. So that should prevent the accidental clicks like on the G302. The scroll wheel is improved, being a bit smoother, and not putting so much emphasis on the steps, but the steps are still there, but definitely not the quietest. The side buttons feel good, with very little travel, and the DPI button is out of the way, and easy to press in. As for click latency, neither test is exact, but when comparing it to the G900, they appear to be about the same. Overall, a good performance from the buttons, and they should be usable in all game types. Now, let's talk about the implementation of the 3366 sensor, starting with some rocket jumps just to make sure it feels right. This is arguably the top optical at the moment, with just the 3989 feeling more responsive. Other than that, everything is most likely better on the 3366, and of course, it can handle rocket jumps, and I can't make it spin out either. As for any delay, I have no real way of testing it, but it feels good to me. And in the test where you hold the mouse on its side and then slam it flat down, the 3366 is the only sensor that seems to be able to cope. So it doesn't spin out, whereas all the others I've tested do spin out. In the sniper test, zooming right in, moving pixel by pixel at first, and this is as smooth as you'd expect. And I tested it at 400, 800, 1600 and 3200 DPI. It's hard to get an exact measurement on acceleration, and it's meant to be impossible to have none. but this seems close to perfect. it hasn't caused me any issues in game. The lift-off distance is about 1 DVD on cloth and hard pad, which is very low. And in the line test, again tested on cloth and hard pad at 1600 dpi, Windows sensitivity 6 out of 11. I see no extra kinks, no skipping, no angle snapping, and no jitter problems. The lift-off movement was well controlled, and no rattle issues. As usual, the 3366 performs extremely well for low and high sensitivity players. Just quickly, subscribing helps me grow the channel, as it gets the attention of big companies like Logitech, and that means I can do more reviews like these. So if you hit that button for me, it's greatly appreciated. For build quality, when tapping it, there's a slight buzz, and when shaking it, a very quiet rattle, which I think is caused by the cable. The material should be durable, as the sides are textured plastic, with the top being similar, but a bit smoother, and the 4 small mouse feet glide smoothly over hard and soft pads. It uses Logitech's usual software, where you can set 5 DPI modes, from 200 all the way to 12,000 in steps of 50. You can reassign the buttons with mouse functions, including media, keystrokes, or set up macros. In lighting, you can turn the lights off, or set it to breathing effect, and assign a color. If you set the effect off, you can just have it as a solid color. And of course color cycling with the rate. Then there's surface tuning for your mouse pads, some analysis options, and in the settings, there's just angle snapping. So by now, you should have a good idea whether this mouse is for you or not, but I'll give you my personal take on it anyway. I found that I can aim better with smaller mice. The reason for this might be like a painter who can paint more precise art with smaller brushes, but then if they go too small, they won't have anything to grip. This mouse is a great size for small to medium hands, and maybe even some large. Combine that with the amazing sensor, great buttons, materials and other features, and of course this is a top recommendation. That said, if I talk about the 3 main aim styles, being projectile, rapid fire and sniper, while I can easily aim any mouse with projectiles, I don't feel as solid with this, with rapid fire and sniper. Of course, as you can see by the highlights, I'm still doing better than most mice. I'm just giving a reason why this isn't going to be a top personal choice. But as I said in the beginning, everyone is different. I'm actually a big fan of the G303 and 302, while many actually hate the shape. For recommendations though, this one is much safer and a better option. It's a great mouse, just not quite my style. But if you're a fan of the G100S and you wanted side buttons, then here is the replacement. Go buy it, it's amazing and a massive upgrade. Hope that helps. Remember to subscribe for me, and if you want to further support the channel and buy one of these, I'll leave links in the description that you can use. Big thanks to Logitech for sending this out early for a review, and I hope the review covered everything despite doing it so soon. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook to get smaller updates, visit my website for recommendations, and as always, my name is Zai, like this video, and I'll catch you in the next. Hi, my name is Zai, and I've been playing first-person shooters for about 20 years. Most of that has been in Quake. I've also been running this channel for over a year now, and I've reviewed over 50 mice. So what better way to celebrate the 200th video and 25,000 subscribers than by reviewing the Logitech G Pro gaming mouse. They designed this mouse after listening to a lot of community feedback, so I'm expecting it to be a top choice. So let's see how it holds up in game and in the testing. A quick reminder though, there's no such thing as a perfect mouse, and everyone is different. This will suit a lot of people, but not everyone. And also, I'm doing this review on the day that I got it, because I've been asked about it constantly since it was announced. I'll do my best to get everything right though. First, the box is nice and simple, easy to open, and I love how Logitech wrapped the cable around like this, instead of folding it.